Hey there, amazing friends. I warmly invite you to join me on this exciting journey by subscribing to my channel, liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. Every like, comment, and share brings us closer together and fuels my passion to create more great content. Your support truly makes all the difference. Thank you for being the heart of this community. Eternal shadows on the ancient stones, the unexplained markings that puzzle historians to this day. In a remote corner of a windswept plateau, where the sky meets a barren land and time itself seems to have been forgotten, an ancient ruin stands as a silent testimony to lost civilizations. For centuries, historians and archaeologists have been drawn to this enigmatic site, a crumbling complex of stone structures whose weathered surfaces bear cryptic markings that defy explanation. The tale of these eternal shadows on the ancient stones is one of mystery, awe, and quiet dread. It is a story that weaves together the threads of history, myth, and the human yearning to understand what lies beyond our grasp. The discovery of the markings began almost by accident in the early 1900s, when a small band of explorers from a long-defunct university expedition stumbled upon a series of stone outcrops scattered across a desolate plateau in a region once thought to be uninhabited. What caught their attention were not the grand ruins that one might expect of an ancient city, but rather the subtle, almost imperceptible carvings etched into the surfaces of massive boulders. These markings, unlike any known script or symbol of contemporary civilizations, were arranged in seemingly deliberate patterns. At first glance, they appeared to be a series of geometric shapes interwoven with what looked like fluid, curving lines. Over time, as more scholars visited the site, the markings revealed a haunting consistency. Regardless of the stone's shape or orientation, the carvings seemed to cast long, undulating shadows under the light of the setting sun, as though the very stones were whispering secrets from an age lost to the annals of time. Over the decades that followed, a quiet frenzy took hold among the scholarly community. Experts in ancient languages, art historians, and even theoretical physicists were drawn into heated debates, arguing whether these markings were mere decorative motifs or encoded messages left behind by a civilization so advanced that their knowledge eclipsed our own. Some theorists posited that the symbols represented astronomical data, a cosmic map of the stars as observed millennia ago. Others argued that they were ritualistic in nature, a series of incantations or blessings carved into stone to invoke protection or fertility for the people who once called this desolate land home. Yet, despite years of painstaking research and numerous expeditions, the true meaning of the markings remains stubbornly elusive. One particularly compelling narrative centers on the life of Dr. Evelyn Hartwell, a determined historian whose passion for unearthing the truth about forgotten cultures led her to devote decades to the study of these ancient stones. Born into a family of scholars, Evelyn had always been enchanted by the idea that history is more than a collection of dusty tomes. It is a living tapestry of human emotion, ambition, and mystery. In her early 30s, driven by a series of inexplicable dreams in which she found herself wandering the same barren plateau under a blood-red sky, she set off to explore the ruins herself. With little more than a worn leather notebook, a battered camera, and an insatiable hunger for answers, she arrived at the site on a chilly autumn morning. The landscape was barren, the only color coming from the stark contrast of the gray stones against the deep blue sky. As she stepped among the scattered boulders, she was struck by the eerie harmony of the carvings, how each symbol, when touched by the dying light of day, cast elongated shadows that merged into one another, forming patterns that seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. Evelyn spent countless days and nights meticulously documenting every inch of the stones. She took high-resolution photographs, made detailed sketches, and recorded ambient sounds as the wind howled across the plateau. In her notes, she wrote of a sensation that she could not shake, a feeling that the markings were not random at all, but rather an invitation, a call from the past. One evening, as twilight descended and the long shadows of the carvings stretched across the ground, she recalled hearing what she could only describe as a soft, almost musical murmur, a sound that seemed to emanate from the stones themselves. The murmur was fleeting, dissolving into the rustle of the wind, yet it left her with an unshakable impression of being watched over by ancient presences. It was as if the stones themselves were alive, guarding memories too potent to fade into oblivion, she later confided in her journal. Local legends, passed down through generations of nomadic tribes and rural villagers, only added layers to the mystery. The elders spoke of the guardians of the horizon, spiritual beings believed to have etched the symbols onto the stones as a covenant with the gods. They told tales of celestial battles, of cosmic alignments that brought forth wisdom and wrath in equal measure. Some even claimed that during certain rare nights, when the moon was full and the air was still, the markings would glow with an ethereal light, and the silhouettes they cast would shift, forming messages in a forgotten tongue. Although these stories were dismissed by many modern scholars as myth, Evelyn found herself increasingly drawn to them. In her many interviews with local residents, she recorded accounts of travelers who had vanished near the site, leaving behind only a single, inexplicable artifact, a fragment of a stone with a particular symbol that seemed to match those on the ancient outcrops. As Evelyn delved deeper into the research, a new theory began to take shape in her mind. She hypothesized that the markings might be the work of a civilization that, rather than vanishing entirely, had chosen to retreat into secrecy, leaving behind cryptic clues to their existence for those who were perceptive enough to follow. In her lectures and published papers, she argued that these symbols could represent a sophisticated system of knowledge, one that encoded not only astronomical observations, but also metaphysical insights into the nature of existence itself. According to her, the intricate interplay of light and shadow cast by the carvings was not a mere accident of weathered stone, but a deliberate, if enigmatic, design meant to convey the cyclical nature of time, death, and rebirth. In one particularly striking experiment, Evelyn arranged a series of mirrors around one of the more prominent stone panels in an attempt to capture the interplay of light at different times of day. The results were astonishing. As the sun began to set, the reflections danced across the panel, merging with the natural shadows to form a complex, moving tapestry of shapes and symbols. For a few moments, it appeared as if the markings were alive, a living, breathing map that shifted and morphed with the passing hours. The phenomenon, captured on film, sparked heated debates in academic circles and among online communities of history enthusiasts. Some heralded it as the breakthrough that would finally unlock the secrets of the lost civilization. Others dismissed it as a clever trick of perspective and optics. Despite the mounting evidence and the passionate support of a growing community of believers, the true nature of the markings remained stubbornly shrouded in mystery. Funding for further excavation and high-tech analysis was hard to come by, and many in the academic establishment were reluctant to embrace theories that challenged the well-trodden narratives of human history. Yet, for those who had witnessed the uncanny interplay of light and stone, the mystery was undeniable. Every time the sun dipped below the horizon and the ancient carvings cast their long, eerie shadows across the barren land, there came a moment of profound wonder, a moment when the boundary between the past and the present blurred, and one could almost hear the whispered secrets of a civilization that refused to be forgotten. In time, Evelyn's research and the mounting evidence began to alter the broader understanding of the region's history. Conferences were held, and new interdisciplinary teams were formed, blending the expertise of archaeologists, physicists, linguists, and even psychologists. Together, They pondered whether the forgotten civilization might have possessed an advanced understanding of the natural world, one that allowed them to manipulate light and shadow in ways that prefigured modern technology. Could it be that these ancient peoples had discovered principles of optics and astronomy that have been lost to time, encoded in their sacred symbols as both a message and a legacy? The questions multiplied, and with them, the allure of the mystery grew ever stronger. As you listen to this narrative, let your imagination wander through the corridors of time. Picture an endless desert under a twilight sky where ancient stones, worn smooth by the passage of millennia, still bear the cryptic imprints of a forgotten people. Imagine the hush that falls over the land as the last rays of sunlight mingle with the long dark shadows of the carvings, shadows that seem to pulse with the heartbeat of a long-lost empire. These eternal markings, defiant in their mystery, call out to those who seek answers, urging us to question what we know about our past and to embrace the possibility that history is far more intricate and enigmatic than the pages of our textbooks reveal. In the end, forgotten civilizations from the depths of history, newly unearthed evidence that changes everything, is not just a chronicle of archaeological discoveries. It is a testament to the enduring power of mystery and the ceaseless human quest for truth. The ancient stones stand as silent witnesses to a time when the world was young and full of wonder, and their cryptic markings challenge us to see beyond the surface of our modern existence. Every shard of broken pottery, every fragment of an unreadable inscription, and every shimmering play of light and shadow hints at secrets that have withstood the ravages of time. And while we may never fully decipher their meaning, the quest to understand them ignites a spark of hope, a hope that in the labyrinth of our collective past, we might one day unlock the secrets that bind us all. So let these eternal shadows inspire you, beckoning you to explore the unknown, to seek out the hidden truths of our ancient world, and to never cease in your search for the answers that lie just beyond the reach of time.